Welcome to the Steve Show. Today I want to talk about one thing to win. It's something that I really didn't understand. And for so many years in my business, I worked way too hard and had smaller results. And now as I've focused my energy on one thing at a time, it's made everything so much easier and so much more abundant. Let's break this down. I sit here today and I get to live on this beautiful property where, I have some forest land, there's a creek, I get to go on walks, I meditate outside, I just connect with nature, and it's amazing. And now that this has been years that I've been able to have this in my life, I still have to look back sometimes to just fully understand. Sometimes you have to look at where you came from to where you are now to really fully have gratitude. And I really am experiencing that today as I sit here and share this with you, because my life wasn't always the way that it is now. And I'm so grateful for what I have, but I'm also so grateful for where I came from, because I wouldn't have the passion to teach and to share if I didn't go through some of the trying times that I had. And I just remember being a young entrepreneur. I started at 19. I wanted to have freedom. I saw so many of my family members, especially my dad, work so hard for so many years and not having the life that they want. And that really freaked me out. And so I was working really hard to not have that happen. And then I'm working really hard. So I ended up following their footsteps. And even then, I was working even more than them because I thought, I'll put in that time and then I'm going to have this reward. And some of that is a reward right now, because some of that time, like I look back at it, in my 20s, I probably worked the equivalent of man hours of 30 years in a 10-year period. Like 3 times the average worker, I was putting in effort. And, so that made me at 30 like a 50-year-old and in work experience because of the sheer number of hours I put in. So I am grateful for that. And it does give me a unique perspective at a younger age to be able to have that. And now being in my 40s and making so much change in my life in my 30s, it gives me even more perspective on how to have more of a quality life, how to put focus in certain areas. And that's what I want to talk about the most today. Focus, because I would have focus, but in a lot of different areas, which wasn't giving me a narrow focus. Obviously I had things I was doing and I was passionate about them. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to put that sheer number of hours in my first decade as an entrepreneur. But here's what my issue was. When you first start, you hear so many people, and for me, maybe it was just fell on my ears, but I heard so many people talking about multiple streams of income and having multiple streams, and which is absolutely true. However, no one told me to build one at a time. And I know it's such a simple thing. And when you even say that out loud, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Well, no, I always had multiple things going on. I went to film school and I built a production company that turned into a marketing firm, an ad agency. We started as commercials, but then it turned into full marketing. We were doing PR, we were advising people on their marketing systems, positioning, branding. It went to all of that. And all while that was happening, I was still making movies. So during the time of building my production company, I finished the feature film. We did 3 different film festivals. The Chicago International Film Festival was first, and the New York International Film Festival. Then we were accepted into the Surf City International Film Festival. And as these things were happening, I'm out there going to festivals, doing interviews, pushing out the movie. We even, when I started my second film, we even started a publication because we couldn't afford to market it. So I actually made a magazine and got other people to pay for ads so that I could actually promote it. And then we did stories about our movies and we advertised our movies. So I was doing all these other things to make those things happen. And for me, those were like it's kind of like when you look at a portfolio, you kind of have your steady investments, and then you have like your riskier, bigger investments, but they could pay off big. And that was the movies that I was producing. And then I produced the TV show. And all while I was doing that, I ventured into other businesses. I created other partnerships here and there, which I don't even want to name them all. But I had so many things going on because I'm like, which one's going to pay me the most? Which one could be the big hitter? And I was splitting my time so much. And I was making money, but then I was also losing money. Some of those completely failed. I did some real estate investments that I did all wrong. I wish and I learned so many great lessons. Again, I'm coming from a place of gratitude here. In moments when those things were happening, I was so down on myself. You know, there was moments when I was losing everything, like, or I'm, you know, wondering how late I could go on my mortgage, so that, and just trying to trickle that along. I've had moments where I've slept on an air mattress in someone else's house, and be able to recover from all those things. And in those moments, the last time that happened to me, my reflection, and I finally learned from having the right mentors and having a mentor, because I would read books and I would listen to other people, but having that was the turning point. And it was like, focus on one thing. One thing. Build one revenue stream first. Once that revenue stream's going, that doesn't even mean you're ready to start another one unless that one's delegated. So when you think about a cavity, right? Like from here to here, I want to build a bridge and I want to go across this, you know, this chasm or this cavity here. And if you're doing multiple bridges and you're working on all of them and you have a small crew, you know, even when I had employees, there wasn't enough. And I'm like running back and forth between all these different things, and not one bridge is, and maybe one or two of the bridges was all the way across, but it still wasn't working without me. And see, that's the difference between, you know, and so many other people like Robert Kiyosaki, I think, had one of the better books on it, is the cash flow quadrant. If anyone knows that, it's like you're an employee or self-employed. And I was in that self-employed category in a number of businesses. So I was trying to be that business owner, but I wasn't having it where it was running on its own. So the thing that's key to know is focus on one thing until you can delegate and automate almost everything. So you're minimizing your time in, and then you're ready to go invest your time in another bridge. You know, so once that one bridge gets across, yay, it's paying you. But if you still have to manage it or you still have to work that bridge, you're not ready to build the other bridge. Unless you're investing. If you can make enough money off that bridge to invest in another bridge that you don't have to work in, you just put money in. And that's why people do passive real estate investing, or they invest in another business that someone else's, or they invest in the stock market, because you just put it in there and you invest in, you know, Apple or one of these companies, and you're knowing, hey, they're going to grow and I'm going to make money off that. But they're not building another bridge. And this dramatically changed my life. And when I started having that focus, I started exploding my business, because I was taking all that energy, I was duplicating it across multiple bridges, put it into one bridge, explode the growth, started having enough revenue to hire more of the right people. And even when I was hiring the wrong people, and putting my energy there and being able to automate and delegate as much as possible. And now I'm able to build more things and have more teams and start to duplicate my efforts. And now it's even magnifying the success that I have. But it's still one thing at a time that I'm focusing on. And even in your business, let's just take it another layer deeper. In your business, do you have 4 or 5 target audiences? And this is where I always teach about wow clients. Who are the right people to talk to? What product or service should you put the maximum amount of effort? You might have other services and you don't have to eliminate those in your business, but put all your business development, all your sales force on one thing and make that go and have it beautiful, blooming, and everything's going. And when that can be delegated and automated, then you can start increasing with another service item, another product, add another product. I see so many people, and even when I work with other speakers like myself, and they have like 20 different courses and 20 different classes, and they're all just average instead of having a few. Like I only teach 2 courses, and I've been just making them better and better and better, and I'm having more and more results. And just now, in the next year or so, I'll add a 3rd course. So it's just a matter of focusing down and doing it. So, you know, what's the one business that you should be in? What's the one clientele within that business you should be doing? Inside of that, what's the one project or one territory that you should be focusing on? Even that can happen. Maybe you're nationwide or a global company. Where should you be focusing? Should you be focusing in California, New York? Where is that? And then within that, what city? Should it be San Francisco or LA? Where should you be putting your focus? And once you do that, then you can move out. It's kind of like also like a carbon copy. Like, if, you know, we don't talk about carbon copies that much anymore, but when you even go to a copy machine and you copy it, you want the best original document to make the copy. If the original is like faded and not a good copy, then each copy is going to get worse and worse. And if you make a copy from a copy, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It degenerates, right? It has less quality. The best thing that you can do is get one area, one focus, one product, one business, the one thing, and maximize your effort until you actually get it to the point of the place that you can have it. And it's not perfection. It's striving for excellence. You continue to make it better. If you're looking for perfection, most likely you'll never find that. So in that, you get it the best that you can. And for me, what I'm looking for is, can it run without me? Can it run without me? Do I have it delegated to the right people? Have I automated systems and computers and things into it so that I can make it run smoother in different applications, and then allow that to run so I can just check on it? And in that, then I can move on and do something else. And the same, again, goes for territories or different things. And once you have that rocking, then now you can expand. I've been with so many people. I've been with even restaurants. They have good food, and then the next thing they go, oh, in order to grow, I got to open another one. And they didn't have the first one systemized enough, and now they're working 18, 20-hour days. I went into a restaurant once when there was a bed in the back, and I'm like, why is there a bed back here? Because I don't go home. The owner said, I don't go home. That's how bad off it was, because everything was all over. And when you start expanding, when everything's all over, it's chaos even more. You amplify the chaos. So now at this point in my life, I'm at the point where I can now duplicate things because I've got it to a point where I have the ability to do so. Like, it's at a point where now there's success happening, and now I can duplicate that success, and it's kind of like it's going good. And so if it's just okay, or even if it's not so okay, and you copy that, then you get more not okay. You amplify the wrong thing, the wrong side of it. So I want you to ask yourself, what's the one thing? And let's break this down into an action item. What's the one business or career point you should be focusing on? What's the one area in your business, service, or product you should be focusing on? What is the one thing you can do to increase that product or services opportunity to make it better for your customers or clients? Where's the one place you should be looking for wow clients? Who is the wow client? Who's the one target audience? Not all of them, the one. What's the one thing you should focus on this month coming up? Or in this month? What's the one thing you should focus on this week? What's the one thing you should focus on today? And if you pick that thing and you go get it done, you start to every day make a difference in your life. So what's the one thing for you to win? And just start focusing on that, and it will make a huge difference in your life. I can tell you this because I've made a major difference in my life focusing on that one thing. So go out there and start looking at how many things you're working on, and then narrow it down to the most important thing and put your attention on that, and watch what happens. Watch what happens. It's dramatically, it'll start off, and then all of a sudden it'll start multiplying, and all of a sudden it just becomes amazing. And I can tell you right now, I'm working less hours than ever before in my life, and I have more abundance coming my way. And I've also been able to change more people's lives as a speaker and a coach and a consultant. I'm able to make a greater impact. So it also makes efficiencies on the impact that you want to make in the world. It makes efficiencies on making the abundance that I need to take care of my family and to be able to travel and show my children things in the world. So, you know, we're at a place where we can do those and make those choices. Oh, should we take the kids and show them this? Okay, let's do it. It's not like, oh, maybe next year. You know, there's things that we're able to do now because I'm putting this focus on one thing. So I can't stress it enough. What's the one thing for you to focus on right now? And I really appreciate you showing up and watching this, but you have to go take action with it now. You know, I can put these ideas out into the world, but, you know, and I'm learning these from other people. But the bottom line is, go do something with it. And if you like this, please subscribe, comment, let me know what was the greatest value of this video and what's currently challenging you, so that I can start crafting more of these episodes around areas that you need help. And as always, until next time, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.